Hi, everybody. From your feedback survey, you said that it might be helpful if we did a lesson going through what our lesson looks like today. So I'm going to give that a try and we'll see how it goes. So this is day 3. Today we're going to be learning about something called carrying capacity and its effect on ecosystem populations. So just like before, scroll through, put your due date right here in the white box. Before you get started, make sure that you read through our assignment checklist to see if you're missing anything from last class or the class before. Even if you're missing something from a few days ago, it's important to get that done. And take a minute and fill out our feedback survey if you haven't already done that, please. So now moving on, we're going to look back at our Oh Dear lesson, which we did before we went to virtual learning. We went outside, we played a game called Oh Dear. And in most of your classes, you recorded your data, although in some classes, including for sure period C, we ran out of time. So you guys are just going to use this sample data here. If you click it, it's going to take you to another link that has some data that you can use for this activity. So open that link. And then what we're going to do is here we're going to make a graph using that data. So I'm going to double click this image and it's a drawing. So what I can do now is I can take this dot and I can copy it by doing Command C or whatever the command is for copy on your computer. And then I can paste it and put it on the graph at the right spot. So on year 1, how many deer did we have? Well, maybe you had 3 deer, so we would put it right here. And then I can copy it again, paste it again. In year 2 or round 2, how many deer did we have? Well, if we started with 3, I think we would have 6 now, but I'm going to check the data to be sure. And I plot that point. And you keep going until you have plotted all the way to year 12. So that's how you're going to do that part. And then when you're done, the next part asks you to do a reflection on Flipgrid. So click the link to your class's Flipgrid over here, and you're going to answer these 3 questions. What happened to the deer population when it got too big, and why did this happen? So look back at your graph. When the population got really high, what would happen next and why? And what happened when the deer population got really low? So come back up to your graph and find a place where the population dropped. What happened next after it was really low? And why did that happen? And then what was the biggest population that we had that didn't result in deer dying? So what was a population that we were able to kind of sustain of our deer? Was there a number that kind of appeared a lot that we kept coming back to that was a number of deer that we were able to maintain? Right, or talk about what that number was. Once you've made your Flipgrid, you are then going to watch somebody else's video. So type their name here. Whose video did you watch? And then you're going to compare their video to your own. What did you guys agree on? Did you disagree on anything? Is there anything that you want to add now that you've seen someone else's video? Fill that in right here. Okay, so moving on. Here we have a part where we're going to talk a little bit more about those 3 necessities for survival: food, water, and a shelter or habitat with the right temperature. So we filled in one example over here. For survival, a camel needs this food. They store water in their hump so that they don't have to drink as often, and they live in the hot, dry desert. That's their habitat. So then you're going to do a little bit of research if you need to fill in, what does a spider monkey need? What does a penguin need? And what does a crocodile need? So you'll fill in those 3 boxes. Make sure, as always, that this is in your own words. Okay, so next we're going to look back at the deer again. The first question here is, what causes things like food, grass, mushrooms, trees, to either increase or decrease? What are some things that can happen in nature that would cause these to go up or go down? Next, what is something besides food and water that might make the deer population increase? What's another factor in nature that might cause the deer population to increase? And finally, what is something that could make the deer population decrease other than these things, other than shelter, water, and food? All right. Next up, you're going to watch a video about something called carrying capacity and just write a quick summary here of what you learned. And then we're going to do a little analysis of the graph. You're going to be seeing that this topic has a lot to do with graphing and analyzing graphs. So this is what happens to a deer population over time. So these are the years, 1985, 1990, 1995. Here's the population. It goes up, hits that carrying capacity line, then it goes down, and then it goes above the carrying capacity, and it decreases to here. So you're going to describe the graph here, and then you're going to make a prediction on why we are seeing increases and decreases. Okay, and if you want to keep going, then you're going to watch this video here to compare your ideas. Okay, the final thing for today that everybody needs to make sure they do is complete the formative assessment on Schoology. So the last thing I do is I pop over to Schoology. Let me see. Okay, we'll go over to Schoology, and you're going to click where it says formative for day 3. So open your day 3 folder, click on that formative, and make sure that you fill it out. When you have done all of that, go back and push submit on Schoology for today's lesson. And that is all. Okay, good luck, guys. After seeing this video, if you still have questions, try reaching out to a friend, and then you can try chatting with us on Google Chat. Okay?